Okay, well, it's a Monday morning, usually a bright and breezy day of the week for me. I love Mondays, but today in the UK is a bank holiday, so town will be pretty much shut, nothing much going on. Could go out, there'll be one or two bits open. Look outside, it's pretty flipping miserable and it's midday. So I'm in, and this quick video really is because I did have all those little figurines on the when you still making noises like ticking clocks, which I've took down so you don't have to hear that clatter all the time. It's pretty bad. But in the process of doing that, did think, well, I do have a few clocks, so but I'd probably just have a little bit of a trip around and show you one or two of the clocks that I do have. Not as many as I used to have, to be honest. So yeah, this will be a few of my clocks. I really can't be bothered to go around each and every clock, but it's some of the ones that I like. So we'll have a bit of a mosey in that direction and have a look at one or two of them. Okay. See you around there. This is a clock I made up myself from bits and bobs. Made the coffin, bought the clock in the middle from an old charity shop, painted the outsides black. That pushes into the coffin. The brass at the top and the little legs at the bottom came off an old carriage clock, and that little thing there has got a lock of air with a chain around it. So that's my little coffin clock. That's the clock I use all the time. That's a reverse clock, so you might notice the hands are going round in the wrong direction. The numbers are going round in the wrong direction. I got so used to telling the time with that, I can look at an ordinary clock and think, what the flipping heck's the time? I have to try and figure it out. I like that clock. It was a silvery colour I painted around the sides with black and put the blood splatter on it just to give it a bit of go. Old charity shop clock, I think cost me £1, but I really like it. Didn't know where to put it, so it ended up on here on this big wall picture. That looks pretty neat. This clock here with the skeleton and wings, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, angel of death or what, and what looks like a broken clock. Got from a charity shop, £10. On my Facebook somebody sent me a message saying, hey, got a clock you might like, put it away for you, and I really love that. Another charity shop clock I bought for, I can't remember now, I think it was probably around about £7 or something, but it's lovely wood casing. The clock itself is battery and just pushes into a hole in the front. I'm not sure if that's the original clock plus case. I have a feeling that there was originally a real wind-up clock in there, but battery's okay for me. I can't be bothered to keep winding up. That's a really lovely clock. Fellows, I think maybe a travelling clock. You could use it as one, or like me, I'll just put it on the side. But I got it again from a charity shop. I think it was £3 or £4 or something, but it's an old vintage one, and if I put my hand there you'll see just how tiny it is, but it's solid. That is a wind up. It's a wind up. Yeah, really like that. I just had to buy that one. Okay, it's a little bit dark at this end of the hall, but as you can see my reflection. There is some mirrors there, bits and bobs. I've put the light on, but it's down the other end, as you can see, so it doesn't help this end. But there is a clock. It was a brown clock. It's got glass that's about 3/4 of an inch in front of it. You can't really see anything because even myself here, it's difficult, but the face is all painted in black and the hands are in black, which is black. Just move this clock in here to give you an idea what it's like. It's on a stand. Again, it was pretty cheap, a couple of £2. I really liked it. I may very well, when I get round to it, get my printer working again, change the photographs or prints, whatever they are in there. Shouldn't be too difficult. And if I put my hand out and do this, it's a two-sided clock. So sorry about the reflections. So it's pretty neat, two-sided clock. You just open it up at the side. I'll turn that round again. We'll give it a bit of a look in. Again, it's just two battery clocks. One hasn't got a battery. That's because I just had the one side looking out. But I thought it was a pretty neat buy, and if I can change those pictures for something a little bit more Gothic or Victorian, I'll be pretty happy. This clock now is at the lit end of the hall on the wall. It's really, I think it was sold as a garden ornament. Put it on the wall of the house or your wall, shed, whatever. Gives you the temperature and the time. I don't think it's told the time for a while because I don't think I've put any more batteries in for quite a while. I can't go around looking at all the clocks, but I really liked it because of the slate look, and it was different. This clock I've had for a considerable time. Again, it's battery. I need to replace the battery so that pendulum swings, but I don't replace the clock battery. I leave that as it is, and I call it the 12 o'clock clock. That always remains at 12 o'clock. So yeah, that's one I've had for considerable time. Again, we're still in the hall. Bought this pretty cheap. It's believe it or not, it's a key box. So if I do this, you can put keys in there. I'm sure one day I'll think of something. I did paint it black. It was a different colour, and two of the little Halloween bats and a little gravestone I put on the top just to make it look a little bit different. But yeah, that was probably £1 or something like that. Plus I got some tea bag and coffee grounds and aged the the white card in there. You can see it's all looking a bit stained. In my bedroom now, I've got 1 or 2 clocks, so it's not a very good place for anybody that can't sleep because something's ticking. This clock, I think it's made of Bakelite. It's definitely not plastic, it's not wood. It's like the old-fashioned Bakelite, but it's a really, really cool looking clock, and when I saw it, and I'm not going to paint that over, it's too good. Yeah, but I saw it, that's got to come home with me. Okay, bedroom still. Here's a really nice old clock. Again, it's battery. The little clock itself, it goes into that hole. You slide a wood panel off the back, and I'm pretty sure that that's an old clock case with a new clock in it that's made to look old, but the actual wood case is pretty old, I would say, and that's a pretty neat clock. I won't ever do anything with that. That looks cool enough for me. Love it. I'll tell you a story one day that surrounds that clock, a little bit paranormal. Say hello to this guy. Hi. And this will bring us on to this clock, which again I've had for a considerable time, and I really love this one as well. That it does one or two things which I've never bothered with, so I can't really remember what they do, but if I had a look at it I'd figure it out. But it is a really nice clock. I just actually touched it and stopped the pendulum swinging, but give them 5 minutes or something, it'll be rocking away again. But yeah, again, these are all charity shop finds, and very, very low prices, so makes me happy. This clock, believe it or not, is over the headboard of my bed. At some time I want to change the background either to a block colour in those curtains, or a very rich dark green or red or something or the other, Victorian wallpaper. But that clock there, it is big. It must be, I'm looking at it now to try and figure, it's got to be, I'd say at least 3.5 foot tall, something like that. It's in metal, so it's pretty heavy. It's hanging on the whatever you call it that's behind the clock, that you hook onto a screw in the wall or something, but wasn't going to rely on that. I didn't want that crowning me in the middle of the night. It is heavy, and there is also a couple of really, really long screws that go into the wall in different places that hold that onto the wall, but you can lift off. So yeah, that was a really nice find. I did think about changing the appearance, but I think with a really nice rich dark background that'll stand out pretty good. And there's the coffin lid, what I call the coffin lid, with a plaque. It's a silver plaque and a sword in a scabbard. So yeah, there you go. That's a nice old boy. That's a great find. This is I don't know, onyx or marble or something like that clock, sort of art. I think it's Art Deco period. It is a real wind-up clock. It's not a new one. It is definitely the age it looks, and it's, I believe, a 12-day wind-up, but it's not going. I just can't be bothered to wind clocks up. But I was in a charity shop. What was it, about £16 or something, and I oohed and ahed a bit and thought, well, if I'm meant to have it, it will hang about, and it must have been a month or something and it was still there, so yep, you're coming home with me. And there is Father's Day card that sits there because I am a father. Now in my spare room, which I suppose you could call the guest room, I've got this little clock, not Gothic. Well, I suppose it is if you think of Dr. Frankenstein and electricity and everything. But it just looked novel to me. It was all in bits in a box and I'd put it together. It was called a Cola clock. So it was sold that those two little upright cylinders, you put Coke in there, Coke, Cola, something like that, and the clock would run on it. Got it home, looked at the instructions, and it said, you know, try anything, experiment, try any liquids in there and see how it goes. But it also said you could put ordinary tap water in, so those two containers were filled with tap water, and as you can see, the clock is still ticking round and it's running off that water, and that's been running now over 2 years on 2 cylinders of water, not been topped up, and what is it, both cylinders about halfway down, so pretty neat, I would say. This clock is on my bathroom wall, the far end, so it is a pretty big clock. It's not a clock size, it's about 2.5 foot across, I should imagine. And this was done really because I just wanted a clock that wasn't looking like an ordinary clock. And as you can see, the big hand now is working its way round to the 12. So I'm assuming we're coming up to 12 o'clock. Yeah, so 12 starts off there and then it goes the right way, but from that direction. And the picture tells a story, which I could tell you, but then I'd have to hunt you out. So yeah, that picture tells a story in my lifetime. Now that little clock sits on the little table at the side of my bed, and although the room's pretty Gothic and that's pretty modern, I don't really mind. It's pretty good for waking you up. It makes a noise and it vibrates and does all sorts of things, and if I press different buttons on there it would light up, and I can make it lighter, dimmer, louder, less loud. And then there is a little round white thing with a long lead that I can plug into it, and you put it under your mattress, and when the clock goes off in the morning, your flipping mattress starts vibrating. So you have to sort of wake up to flipping do something about that, but it's actually not plugged in at the moment. But yeah, it was in a charity shop and it was pretty cheap and cool, so it's there. I'll have to make something you can sit over the top of it in the day that looks a bit more Gothic. Maybe a Gothic wood clock that's hollow inside. So we've been around, had a look at one or two sort of quite Gothic clocks, one or two different type clocks, one or two probably pretty flipping crazy clocks, but there you go. I do have things around the house that do make a bit of a tick. Luckily Well, you might be hearing them because I can hear a tick, but not like those things were on the windowsill. So, like I said, there is one or two other clocks, but I can't be bothered going around them all, and they're more or less my favourites of the bunch. So there you go. TikTok.